Hi there. Thanks for joining the Harm Reduction Project's Narcan training. We're so excited you're here to become a harm reduction hero by learning how to use Narcan. What is Narcan, you may ask?
Narcan is the brand name of Naloxone, a life-saving medication that is an opioid antidote. This means it can reverse the effects of an opioid overdose or poisoning. It works by knocking off the opioids from the brain's receptor, replacing them with naloxone so that the person can breathe again. Naloxone comes in different forms. The most user-friendly is the nasal spray, which comes with 2 doses per box. Opioids are a class of drugs, also commonly known as narcotics. There are natural opiates like opium or heroin, and synthetic prescription pain relievers like oxycodone, morphine, codeine, Vicodin, methadone, Percocet, and fentanyl. In recent years, fentanyl has been illegally manufactured and put into street drugs like cocaine, ecstasy, counterfeit pills, and methamphetamine, which is leading to an increase of poisoning and fatal overdoses. An overdose is when the potency of the opioids in the body leads to one's breathing and/or brain activity slowing or stopping to a life-threatening degree. How can we tell if somebody is overdosing? You'd be looking for things like if the person is unresponsive, they have shallow, slow, and/or gurgling breathing, they have pinpoint pupils, their skin is clammy, their skin color has changed, especially around their lips and cuticles, turning bluish purple or grayish or ashen depending on skin tone. Now let's talk about how to use Narcan if you think someone might need it.
First, check if the person is responsive by shouting, tapping the bottom of their foot, and giving them a sternum rub by taking your knuckles and rubbing them on their sternum. Okay, we've done that and believe this person may need Narcan. Now gently lie the person on their back and then shout, "I'm gonna Narcan you," as sometimes this can get someone to respond. Next, tilt their head back while supporting their neck and administer 1 dose of Narcan, inserting the Narcan into their nostril until you feel their nose on the back of your fingers, and then push the red part in. Then step back, as a person may swing their hands upwards or be startled when they wake up. Call 911 to get medical emergency help right away. Delegate a specific person to call or make the call yourself if necessary. Tell 911 operator, "I have someone who's non-responsive and I need an ambulance." Watch the person closely. If there is no response within 2 to 3 minutes, administer the 2nd dose from your box into the other nostril. If the person does not start breathing on their own, do your best to breathe for them with rescue breaths and begin chest compressions until EMS arrives. You can ask the 911 operator to walk you through how to do this. Once they start breathing on their own, place them into rescue position, which is lying them on their left side with their arm rested under their head and the top knee bent forward. This is to avoid vomit aspiration.
We know this could feel like a lot of information to take in at once, but don't worry. You're prepared because the directions are in and on the box. The expiration date is also on the box. Make sure to replace your Narcan before it expires. Please do not store it in the freezer or in extreme heat. In fact, carry it with you everywhere. You may be wondering about any liability or safety issues. Luckily, in California, we have a Good Samaritan's law, which protects the overdose person and rescuer from legal consequences if police arrive on scene. Narcan is completely legal for all people to carry, and the FDA even recently approved for over-the-counter access. Narcan will not harm anyone, even if you're not sure if they're experiencing an overdose. There have been no adverse reactions reported, and it can be given to anyone. If you decide not to call 911, stay with the person for up to 2 hours to prevent a secondary overdose. Lastly, please remember that in addition to having Narcan on your person, it's also really important to never use alone and to use test strips to test your substances for the presence of fentanyl. The Harm Reduction Project can get you resources and more information for these as well.
Thanks for sticking around to learn how to become a harm reduction hero. The Harm Reduction Project is always here for you to answer additional questions and provide support. Remember, always carry Narcan. You never know when you might need it to save a life.